I know. Now you're thinking, oh, there that boy goes again. He's gonna pull that panel out and get all the bees stuck on there. Yeah, I just never got around to flipping it around. Here you go, girls. I'll give you some more space there. How's that, babies? Huh? Yeah. Let's get off there now. Calm down. So what's going on right now looks like another navigation. It's a nice day. Get up there. There you go. So another nice day. So I got another navigation going on. And so am I gonna get these girls on the panel again? Yeah. I think this time I'll have a stick ready. Now I just now came out here. I have no idea if these girls are agitated by something, marauders, wasps. They can all of a sudden just swarm and start stinging me. Possible. I have no idea. This is the first time I've been out today. I think it's about 4 o'clock or something. So girls, how are you agitated? I probably should watch for a minute, huh? See if they're agitated. Watch their body language. Let's remove this one too. You girls look like you need some space. A lot of activity. How's that, girls? Huh? Yeah? Look at all that room you have now to come in and out. Yeah, you can spread your wings. Literally. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look so cluttered now. Okay. Well, what I think I might do is put some sort of wood. Maybe go like this. Something like that. Maybe go like that. Pull that out. Put it back down. There we go. So far, so good. Flip this opposite. Flip this up. If I can get it to stay. Flip this up. Get that in there. And no bees. Well, looky there. That's the first time I've done that when I didn't get no bees on my panel. And there was one time she got on that thing and I left it. But I came back about, I don't know. I came back later on that day and I got her out. She was up on the top. She had pollen when she went in, but by the time I got her, she had been struggling so hard to get through this screen. By the time I actually got to her, she had rubbed off all that pollen to try to get through that screen. And to get into her hive, she's like, all that pollen got rubbed off. I'm not, oh, you can't see me. So 28th, April 28th, another navigating day. Girls are out up in the sky going back and forth and back, further out, back and forth. They like it when it's really busy like that, like this. They really like when I take off those strips. I like to keep it narrowed until it's really busy. It makes it so much easier for those girls to defend the hive. I can tell when that's wide open and I've been out doing stuff and I haven't been paying attention, and I'll come back and there's girls running back and forth, looking stressed out in the front of the entry way because there's marauders bouncing around trying to get in, and my bees are stressed out trying to keep the marauders out. And so when I narrow that strip, it's almost as the whole hive calms down. It's like, okay, all right. So I try to keep the stress level of my bees as minimal as possible. And I think that also helps keep them much more docile when they are not in a constant defense mode, right? So I'm going to be checking my Varroa Mite panel, and I don't think I've done a sugar shake for over a month. I haven't had to. It's like Uh, if there's any Varroa mites in your hive that are established Varroa mites, say they're in their cycle, breeding cycle, and when you've got a breeding cycle of Varroa mites in your hive, they live and they die, they live and they die. That's a breeding cycle. Bringing out the dead. And you're going to see the Varroa mites on your panel. Whether they clean them off each other or not, you're going to see the old, the dead, the dying, whatever. The cleaned off ones. Oh, I still got my workout uniform. I got a workout this morning. I just worked out and started with my day. But this is a pressure suit. So I wear this typically in the summertime when it's in the 80s, 90s, 100s. Because what happens is it retains a certain amount of moisture, and it's like having an air conditioner when there's a slight breeze, even when there's not a breeze. But when it's cold, I take these things off because they're cool suits. They're pressurized cool suits, and they get cold, even if it's slightly cold. Even now, it's like I feel cold on my back. And they're excellent for when I'm out working in the garden, I'm out in the heat. It really takes that pressure of that heat off my body. Oh, that's a good sunshade. I don't have to put that poisonous suntan lotion. That stuff's not good for you. I'll use it when I have to. Yeah, I'd rather use that than get a sunburn. A sunburn is worse. And so, yeah, they're really doing their thing today. I got my blueberry flowers open, and what mostly pollinates those blueberries is not my bees, though. What seems to mostly pollinate my blueberry bushes over here is bumblebees. Yeah, mostly. If they have they're stronger, they can get in that bell, because the blueberries their flowers are like bells, and it might be hard for my bees to get their aspiscus in that far. I don't know, but I don't see any bees in my blueberries. But I do see a bumblebee. That's a huge bumblebee. Oh my gosh, that's one of the biggest bumblebees I think I have ever seen. And sure enough, she's in there getting getting the pollen and nectar from my. Oh, she just knocked off a flower, but where's that her? I don't know. Anyway, I get sidetracked like that, right? Watching nature. And so also I have a bunch of hundreds and hundreds of raspberry bushes. So their flower buds are starting to come on. So these bees are going to be all in my flowers of my raspberries. And then I have these blackberry bushes behind me. So when these start to flower, I just clip them because I'm trying to get them to get bushy raspberries instead of getting the raspberries at the end. So I just clipped those a few days ago, the tops, to stimulate side growth. And so see how that goes. It's like an experiment, because not every breed of berries are the same. Some may respond well to a top clipping, and some you may get no raspberries at all if you do that. I had to really experiment a lot with my different kinds of raspberries. I got like 5, 6 different kinds of raspberry plants, different varieties, and they don't respond the same. I had to figure each one out. Like, what do you do best when I do certain things? And yeah, and that's the way it is with plants. They're not clones. Unless you take a snip from a tree, like an apple tree, you snip that and you get that to grow, that's going to be a clone. Yeah. Well, they look more relaxed now. Look, I got all that free reign in there. There's not so much built up. So what happens is when I got too much of a narrow spot there, they start to back up because there's not enough room for free flow. And so I'll get this I'll come out here in the mornings or sometimes later, and because I leave that strip like that, I leave it small before I go to at night when I close them up. I leave it small on purpose because I have these wasps, and I've been up at 5 o'clock in the morning and witnessed it with my own eyeballs. They go in while the girls are still asleep, and they go in and get what they can. And sometimes I've heard the stories that they'll kill the queen at that time, so that they have So they'll go get their buddies and come back and, you know. Yeah. So there you go. Now, they're not fanning right now. So when they're fanning out in front, say I've got this blocked off over here, and there are a bunch of fanners here, and there's hundreds of girls trying to get in and out at the same time, along with, and the fanners are just constantly getting run over. What I do is I'll take a little block and put it in the middle, just in the middle, leave the gap over there, and I'll watch those girls over a few minutes. They go from this getting run over trying to do their fanning, and they'll mosey on slowly over there, and then I get a nice cluster of girls on the opposite side, and I watch. There's some on the inside, and then some a little bit, and they send air to each other, and they get this nice flow of removing all that humidity and excess heat, and so it's yeah, it's like a relay system they got, and when that happens, none of these girls coming in and out go over there. Not one. I've never seen them. Once that relay system gets set up over there, and these girls are doing their thing over here coming in and out, I've never seen any girls coming in with their stuff go over there. It's just like, hey, you stay over there. This is my spot now. And it works really cool. In fact, they're already starting to go over there. They're actually inside. They're starting inside usually, but not all the time. And then one gets behind the other, and then they get all the way out here, and there you go. Hey girls, you gonna land on me and say hello? No, I don't want to land on you. I just want to. I might be confusing them because they're trying to get the lay of the land, and if I got my hand out there, that's actually a distraction. They have to readjust their pictures, right? So it's not good for me to put my hand up there while these girls try to figure out how to get home. If they don't figure out how to get home before they leave, and they get out there to try to come back, it's like Wizard of Oz. Have to tap their heel. No place like home. How do I get there? I don't know. And so, please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. I really wanted to do some splits, but there's not enough comb built out, because I've got these little sticks where you can make your own queens. You take out the cell and I don't want to make a bunch of queens and not have the resources to be able to put them somewhere, give them a home. But if I have a good buildup of bees, and I've got all my comb built out where I want it to, even in my super, oh, there's a marauder, looking for a way in. Every day, all day long, there's marauders. And when one gets in, or gets down here, it can excite the hive, and you may not want to be around the hive at that time, because the whole hive could almost go in defensive mode. When a marauder, particularly, especially when a marauder or a wasp gets in, you may not want to be around. They're going to go after anything and everything. You don't look like me, I'm attacking now. And so I saw one the other day where a marauder got almost in, and a girl got on top of her, started grabbing her by the behind legs, and that marauder's trying to get away, and my girl had that one by the legs and pulling, and that marauder finally got down to the corner over there, and then my girl jumped on its back, turned around, and got right in her face and started biting her face. And then the marauder hunkered down like that, and my girl got right back into the leg and started biting the back of the legs, and then that marauder flew out that way. And it was gone. I watched it go, beep. And I was kind of keeping an eye on it. Yeah, it was going different. It went that direction, so I'm thinking maybe somebody's got a beehive over that direction. There's a marauder right here. That's a marauder. My bees hang out here. Marauders all around here. Just, yeah. Now I'm not sure that's a marauder, but that's kind of where they hang. Mine, hang. Non-mine, hang. Right? And there you go. This is my bee day today. Gonna check that panel for Varroa mites. And if I've got Varroa mites, I'm gonna come back out here tomorrow, get all my gear set up, and I am going to do another sugar shake. I was getting hundreds. Before I started doing my sugar shake, oh my gosh, I don't leave it in there for a few days and there was hundreds. I was taking a panel out sometimes every day, dumping off the Varroa mites, redoing my panel, put another one back in. I was in desperate mode trying to save my hive. And I watched, precipitously speaking, that count go down dramatically. It took us several months for that cycle of breeding, the Varroa mite breeding, to go down. It's several months. But I watched the trajectory of that drop, and I was getting happier and happier. And then I saw 10 one time. I went, oh, I think I might have broke the back of the camel. And then did another sugar shake, and I saw 5. All right, I think I'm on top of this pretty good. And then I did another sugar shake a week later. No, not a sugar shake, another pull a week later, 0. And then the pollen really started to happen. The flowers were everywhere. And then I saw all that pollen coming in, and I waited about 4 days after I did my last pull. And I saw Varroa mites didn't look like mine. They were different breeds or something. They were different from each other. More wide, narrow, looked more like crabs, but not like the ones I'd been seeing for 6 months. There's like 18 different kinds of variations of Varroa mites. And there's only 1 or 2 that are really the bad ones, the destructors. Varroa destructor. And so, and there you go. And we're going to go in there, we're going to check to see if I got any mites on there. I feel pretty confident. There's been so much food coming in. I feel pretty confident. There was one time I was doing a video. Well, last time I think I was doing a video. There was this gust. I got my camera set up, and there was this gust of wind that were coming, and it was taking my bees, and it was like 4 times bigger than this. Lots of bees, and it would take that real quick gust of wind. It would take my bees, knock a lot of them onto the ground. They're right here in front of me. Knock them right onto the ground, and some of them didn't get to hit the ground, but they would come right back up because that gust would go away just as fast as it came. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if I should be sitting back there doing that video with that happening, because my thought was, if I had some that came back and overcompensated, they'd get in my face. And so I had this side thing on. It's a sunshade thing that comes down, and I had my hat on. And sure enough, just as I finished that video, I just finished it, and I was getting ready to get up. Another gust of wind took those girls down to the ground. They readjusted, one over adjusted. She landed right on my left eyelash, and I instinctively started batting my eye. And I can see her. Her body language changed. She looked nervous. She scared, and she was trying to run away. But my hat was here. She couldn't fly up. She couldn't fly sideways because I had this thing to my side. She looked trapped, nervous and trapped. And she started running around my eye. And I thought, oh, she's going to sting me. And then I felt the jiggle, the wiggle. I said, there she's going to go. So I was able to get her up above my eyebrow before she finally got me, and I swiped her away. I had to whip my hat off, my veil thingy off to get her. Otherwise, she would just been bouncing around in my face area, around in here, kind of closed in like a box. And she got me, and I looked like half of my face looked like Neanderthal. That large forehead, you know. I only had it for about 2 days. That swelled like that for about 2 days, and I just didn't want her to get in my eyeball, man. Sometimes some folks don't recuperate from that if they get stung right in the eyeball, blind forever, stuff like that. And that's my first bee sting since 2023. That's pretty good. One bee sting, and I knew everything in my being said, don't do this today. This gust of wind is going to cause you a problem, boy. I said, yeah, but I'm all set up to do that, and I got a mindset to do that. And my hippocampus, that's where our intelligence, most intelligence part, our wisdom, Hippocampus. All right. And sure enough, I went against that instinct, right? Wisdom. And sure enough, it happened. And then it happened. You know, sometimes I just ignore my wisdom because you know what? I got this plan and I'll just have to tough it through it if it happens. And it usually happens. Yeah. All right, let's go take a look at this panel, see what we got. And I can't imagine not having a bunch of Varroa mites in there. They're picking them up from all the other beehives and all the other bees that are on flowers and dropping them off. And yeah, that's how the Varroa mites spread anyway, you know. Okay, let's go take a look. See you in the house.